Say what you want. No, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't pretty. This, or that. Look, at the end of the day, the Eagles are 5-0. They're starting to put it all together, and today we'll talk more about one of their more impressive wins of the season yesterday and an Eagles rookie making history. What is up, everybody? Welcome into A to Z Philly. You know the drill. Drop a like on the video, subscribe, comment your thoughts on yesterday's game down below. Ring the bell. Don't miss any of the coverage. We are continuing to pump out content, and man, we have a ton of it after yesterday. Another big Eagles win. Look, we can sit up here, complain, and say that there's things to work on, which obviously there is, and say that they're not all the way there yet, not 100%, not perfect. Look, they are 5-0. They are 5-0. And actually, they are now 5-0 in back-to-back seasons for the first time in franchise history. In fact, they're only the sixth team in NFL history to go 5-0. After losing in the Super Bowl the year prior, the Eagles are starting to put it all together. They are a very good team right now. I want your thoughts down below. How confident are you in this team, especially with a gauntlet of a schedule coming up over the next month and a half? Give me your thoughts down below. Before we jump into all the madness, a shout out to our sponsor of today's video, BetMGM. Enjoy all your favorite sports like never before at BetMGM. Sign up with the code ATOZPA and receive up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to parlay selection features, live betting options, player props, daily boosted odds specials. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I told you, A.J. Brown on the over. We hit the hat trick 3 weeks in a row. He cleared it by a mile. With BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matter more than ever. Find out why BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks. Download the app, sign up with the code ATOZPA, get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you do not win your first bet. All right, let's jump into this, man. What a game yesterday. And again, it wasn't perfect, but I am very happy, especially with the adjustment factor. The adjustments that were made in the second half. The Sean Desai-led defense literally shut out Matt Stafford, who could potentially be a Hall of Fame quarterback, and weapons like Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp had 5 catches on the first drive, only had, 3 or 4 the rest of the game? Puka Nacua, Tyler Higbee, Tutu Atwell. You shut all these guys down in the second half, and you finally got a ton of pressure on Stafford, but it was the way that Sean Desai adjusted that makes me very confident. And Brian Johnson, on the other hand, probably called his best game of the season. Sure, the Eagles probably could have had 40+ in this game. Yes, the red zone play calling needs to be better, but they're starting to put together more coherent drives, and the play calling is just making sense, right? They're balancing out the passing and the running. I think they were equal yesterday, and every guy is contributing for the most part. So I love the way that these coordinators are adapting, kind of like the Shane Steichen and Jonathan Gannon eras when they began, right? It took some time to adjust, but here they are. And one reason I think the Eagles are now 5-0 in back-to-back seasons and have bounced, completely back from losing the Super Bowl and are already at 5-0 is because of this guy right here. And I don't think he gets enough credit on a week-to-week basis, Nick Sirianni. Right here's his post-game speech. He says, growth mindset, right? You're 5-0, but it doesn't matter. The mindset is always to continue to adapt and grow and get better. Who cares if we're 5-0? We have our eyes on the prize, and I love that mindset. He says we have to have the same mentality and the dog mentality going up to New York next week to play the New York Jets. Sure, that looks like it should be a win, but you have to take care of business, and these guys understand that. Now let's go through our list of shout-outs because, again, we talked on the post-game. We gloated about certain guys, but I still didn't get to talk enough about this guy right here. Look, in the preseason, we sat here, even in the summer, I sat here and I said, okay, could Jaylen Carter end up being, one of the better Eagles defensive rookies, right? Could he be one of the best rookies on the team, right? I was like, okay, maybe he'll get 3, 4, 5 sacks. Then I upped it 6, 7, 8. And then I made a bold take at the end of training camp because of the way they were gloating about this guy and just, how the talent was really just jumping off the screen or even for the guys in person, just how he was appearing already before his rookie season. And I said, this guy's going to get double-digit sacks. It was a bold take. It's not so bold anymore. Jaylen Carter is the truth. I'm not going to play this play here because of copyright reasons, but just know this is what they were doing to Jaylen Carter yesterday. You see these double teams? He shredded these guys like it was nothing. One-handed pushes. Get out of my way. The Hall of Famer, one of the best interior linemen on the other side, Aaron Donald, had 0 sacks. 0. Jaylen Carter had 2. Jaylen Carter now has 3.5 sacks in his first 5 games. Reuben Frank, who always puts out great stats, most sacks by Eagles rookie defensive tackles. Jaylen Carter's already number 4 through 5 games. He could end up being a Pro Bowler. He could end up being an All-Pro in his rookie year. It is arguably, right now, his play is arguably the best in the league for an interior defensive lineman. It is crazy. He just jumps off the screen. He's spinning. It's just too easy for him. And this is why he should have been the number 1 overall pick in the draft. Obviously, we know why he fell. And Howie Roseman jumped up and got him. I mean, this guy, look, again, long career, right? A lot of trajectory. Things got to go the right way. He has to stay healthy, but the talent, like, he should not be this dominant yet. It is crazy. Jaylen Carter, defensive tackle, ranks right now number 1 in the league in pressures, number 1 in hurries, number 3 in sacks. The guy is an absolute mammoth. Even with Fletcher Cox out, you knew this was a game where you had to pressure Stafford. You had to get there at some points, and he did it. He did it. It is too easy for him, and, you know, being surrounded by the talent that he has, I mean, he's just insane. He really, really is. Shout out again to Reuben Frank from Stathead. Jaylen Carter's the first defensive tackle with 3.5 sacks, 4 quarterback hits, and 4 tackles for loss in his first 5 career games since 2007 when Chris Jones did it for the Patriots. There's not much else I can say. I don't know why I'm surprised at this point, but Jaylen Carter looks like he's been doing this for 7 years, and he's going to probably end up being the best defensive lineman on the team this year, and he might make an All-Pro team as a rookie. Jaylen Carter, continue to do your thing, man. It is special what Eagle fans are seeing. Don't take it for granted. You do not get this coming along every so often. Now, the other guy that finally stepped up yesterday, we got to give him credit here, right? Because a lot of people were wondering, they were whispering the first couple weeks, where's Hassan Reddick? Where's he at? Hassan Reddick had the other 2 sacks yesterday, and ever since getting the cast off his thumb when he had the little minor procedure before the season, he's got 3 sacks in the last 2 weeks, 10 pressure, 6 hurries. Hassan Reddick is here. He has been one of the best in the league over the last couple years, even with different teams, right? He has continued to ball out. I was not concerned in the slightest. Hassan Reddick is back. They're moving them all around. And again, there's just too much talent up front. Teams cannot block the Eagles. That is how this team is built in the trenches. That is their identity, not only on the defensive side, but on the offensive line as well. And we take it for granted because of just the prolonged success. But a lot of teams struggle with this, man. The Eagles really do not have those issues up front, right? I mean, yesterday, the Eagles, it felt like couldn't run the ball successfully. You look at the end of the game, not only did they have 454 yards of offense, they had $150 running the ball. I'm like, when did they get 150 rushing yards? They do it effortlessly in their sleep. In their sleep. DeAndre Swift, no, he didn't have any of those breakout runs, but he had a couple big runs late to secure first downs. And yeah, Swift is doing his thing. He's patient. He understands how to run. And that offensive line was great. And then obviously one of the other big shout outs of the game then has to go to Sua Opeta, right? Because we know what Jason Kelsey and Landon Dickerson and Lane Johnson are going to do, Mailata, etc. How about Sua Opeta stepping in against the future Hall of Famer, gave up no sacks. Obviously, there were double teams that were trying to move Donald around. At one point, Lane Johnson was just stuffing him. There was nothing they could do. And Opeta stepping up, really a guy who has not started much, was absolutely amazing. And he deserves a lot of credit. Big shout out for Sua Opeta. And the Eagles did not let Jalen Hurts get hit. Now, again, there were a lot of pressures, but Hurts was being very decisive. I like the element of him tucking it and running. I think that is an X factor, this Eagles offense that existed last year. And they just couldn't get to him, man. Shout out to both sides of the ball up front for doing their thing. We got to give a shout out to Bradley Roby. I honestly didn't see him that much while I was watching the game, but he came in and he balled out. And, you know, in the first drive when Cooper Kupp was being lined up against Eli Ricks and Mario Goodrich, Sean Desai had to make adjustments. He did. He ended up kind of circling through all of the different slot corners, and he puts in Bradley Roby, who was just signed 5 days ago, and he only allows 2 catches for -4 yards. So hopefully he can continue to be that guy. I think there's still competition there, but that's, you know, again, what I always say about making the most of your opportunity. DeAndre Swift and A.J. Brown both have 500 plus yards from scrimmage through 5 games. First pair to do that for the Eagles since Deshaun and Shady back in 2013. The only other NFL team right now with 2 guys over 500 scrimmage yards is the Dolphins, Tyreek Hill and Devon Achane. They are absolutely balling. That's going to be a really good matchup in a couple weeks. DeAndre Swift continues to ball out. A.J. Brown, I mean, I don't have to say it anymore, right? I say it every week. Take the over on A.J. Brown. He is a pure wide receiver 1. The Eagles have not had a guy like that. The combination of the speed, the size, the strength, hit him on a little slant route. You cannot stop him. The yards after the catch, it's almost literally unstoppable. It's almost not fair. And A.J. Brown just continues to do his thing. Sure, Devontae Smith is pissed off. He wants a couple catches, but you know what? These guys, as much as we see and as much as they try to paint out, these guys don't have ego. They're about the team winning, and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith will continue to get theirs. Same with Swift. Even Goddard finally got utilized yesterday, goes over 100 yards. There's just too many tricks on this team, man. It's very, very hard to stop. And the main man himself, Jalen Hurts, now 22-1 over his last 23 starts. No, he wasn't perfect. He missed some throws. He missed a couple looks, had a bad interception, missed Watkins open in the end zone. The guy just continues to win, though. Only other quarterbacks over the last 73 years with a 22-1 stretch: Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Jim McMahon, and Joe Montana. Add Jalen Hurts to that list. He's a purebred winner, man. He continues to put together these late game drives. Felt like there were a lot of long continued drives yesterday, and the Eagles stayed poised. And Jalen, you can just see the difference from, say, last year, the year before to this year. It's the confidence he has in himself and the patience, right? He can go down and spend 7 minutes of the game and just take his time and run time off the clock and, just continue to mature and get smarter and make it happen. So, yeah, the Eagles got to convert more in the red zone, but at the end of the day, this team looks like they're clicking, putting it all together in all facets, and you can't complain when they're 5-0. A lot of big games coming up. It's good that they're racking up these wins right now. We'll just have to wait and see how they develop. But give me all your thoughts down below in the comments section. As always, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That being said, I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.